Until that moment, I never would have figured out that I was listening to Jesus music. How would I have known? I was a 15-year-old Jewish boy guitarist. I wasn't reading lyrics. What's up, Frosted Cheerios, and welcome to another episode of Guarsenio's High School CD Booklet Review. The show where I'm going to review all my old high school CDs, and you're gonna go, dude, I can't believe you used to listen to that. Bah, you poser idiot. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of that in this episode, because today we're talking about Underoath's Define the Great Line. I don't remember how I found out about Underoath. Probably a compilation or a burn CD from a weird kid. But I do remember hearing a song of theirs, going to Tower Records, forgetting their band name, and accidentally buying Unearth's The Oncoming Storm. I put that on in my car and I was like, oh shit! It's not what I went there for, but I came out with something that I thought was way better. But regardless of how much I actually liked Underoath or not, they were the biggest band in my town's music scene for a while. The kings of asymmetrical haircuts. They were a big singing in the car band, like your friends who smoked cigarettes would do the screamy yelly parts, and your friends who listened to their parents did the pretty singy parts. Real Scion TC hours. But yeah, the big thing I remember about this band is them disintegrating from the zeitgeist when everyone found out that they and their music were super Christian. I remember seeing them at a Warped Tour one year, and in the middle of the set, the singer just went, "Everything we do in the name of Jesus Christ." And me and all my friends were like, what? I didn't even know that there was Christian aggressive music. I didn't know that that was possible. Until that moment, I never would have figured out that I was listening to Jesus music. How would I have known? I was a 15-year-old Jewish boy guitarist. I wasn't reading lyrics. I thought they were called Underoath because they watched a lot of Law and Order with their parents, like me. Speaking of Underoath and Warped Tour, I remember that DVD where Fat Mike tells people to not go see Underoath's set, and where he interrupts the prayer circle. That's fucked up. I'm all for clowning on the entire concept of aggressive Christian music, but dude, they were literal children on that tour. You were fucking with their money and their daily routine. You were being a dick, and that sucked. A friend of mine recently explained this phenomena to me, and apparently a lot of these types of bands were Christian, at least at the beginning, because it was the only way that their super religious parents would let them play music at all. So most Christian hardcore was just Christian as a compromise. It was just like, all right, fine, mom, it'll be about Jesus, just let me play riffs. But I think this came out right around the time that I saw them at that Warped Tour, and thus I didn't really listen to this that much. So honestly, I didn't remember this record. Like, there were parts where I was like, oh damn, I went years thinking that Norma Jean did this song. And I guess that makes sense because this was much heavier than I expected it to be. It's super well produced, and the songwriting shocked me. I knew going into this that this is the Underoath album. So I was blown away to discover that there are no repeating parts on this thing. Not a verse, not a chorus, not a lick, not a ditty. I don't know how the fuck Tooth and Nail let them get away with that, but it's honestly impressive. And it paid off for them, which is inarguably really cool. I will say that even though I am, in theory, on board for an album like this, where it's heavier than the last one, it's more experimental, we're taking more risks, everything kind of bled together into one song. They have a well-defined style and a pattern to their songwriting, but it kind of just made me space out after a while. But I then would re-engage when the heavy riffs and breakdowns would kick back in. Like, I gotta give it up, there are some unfuckwithable breakdowns on this, and the Scream guy, his yell is great. What a fucking monster he is. Also, the singing guy is probably the most bearable, whiny singing guy I've ever heard. I probably would have gotten really into this album if it wasn't all about Jesus and apologizing for being a shitty dude. Like, there's one song that starts with the dude just singing some lyrics that are like, hey, can we just sit around and talk about us and why I'm such a piece of shit? Ooh, speak of what a waste I am, Daddy Jesus. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Nope. Anyway, let's dunk on this album cover that made me think I was updating my Mac to Big Sur. This album art looks like the kind of thing that you'd see hanging in an Airbnb and think, wow, No one has actually ever lived here. This album art looks like a motivational poster that's motivating you to burn down your own house. This album art looks like an Instagram post from 2012 using the experimental new filter, Shit Pro. It looks like something the Weather Channel would post on social media with a snarky caption like, going into the weekend during global warming like. But yeah, to sum up, this was an unexpected album from Underoath, and a super brave step forward. It also kind of scares me that I never noticed that they were a Christian band, because I realized that's how someone's gonna get me in a cult. Like, I'm gonna be spin kicking to an awesome breakdown, and then all of a sudden, shit, I moved in with a bunch of people wearing white robes. But yeah, that's the end of the episode. If you want to let me know what you thought of the album or trick me into joining your cult, there's the comments. Next week, we're doing Dimmu Borgir, so finally we can talk about some black metal. Well, symphonic black, you know what I mean.
It's 2 minutes to late night!